Hey friends, welcome back to season 5, the first official episode, season 5 of Thriving Thoughts. I'm your host, Dr. Sherri. I am so glad you are joining me again for this season. Can you guys believe we have made it 4 seasons, over almost 120 episodes now? I am so blessed and I've been so enriched by the tremendous support that you guys have shown me in making that possible by listening, by sharing, by letting me know what encourages you. And I am stoked, you guys, to bring you some amazing conversations that are insightful, inspiring, and can give us practical tools that we can apply to our own lives. Season 5, Thriving with Your Ride or Die. In today's episode, I want to break that down a little bit for you. What does it mean to be a ride or die? Well, I got a little help from Urban Dictionary, so I'm just going to share with you what I found. So this is what Urban Dictionary says. A ride or die is when you are willing to do anything for someone you love or someone you really appreciate in your life. The person who you stand by in any problem and vice versa. Listen to that. And vice versa. The term ride till the end or die trying. Now, you guys know I'm not a fan of the word trying, and I'm really not a fan of the word die. In fact, this term originated with regard to being willing to do things that would even compromise your values, would compromise who you are. But I say that thriving with your ride or die, I'm going to add on and make that definition even more dynamic and thriving true for your life. And that is when you are thriving, growing, flourishing, and prospering. That's the first part, with your ride or die. So that's your person that you will always be there for, and they will always be there for you. And you will die, literally, we'll say literally, figuratively die before you let them do something to hurt themselves, right? That's how much you love them. You are going to be there for them. You're going to die to yourself to support them when you can, when you feel like, you just don't know if you have any more to give, or you sacrifice. That's what it means to give, to die to yourself, to sacrifice what you need, to put the needs of your friend or your partner above your own. We're going to talk about that this season. And I've got some questions for you to ask yourself, because listen, more than any season in the past, certainly all of our episodes give you valuable information that you can apply. But this is so important right now, because relationships are required for your ability to thrive. And it just so happens when I advertised this season and said, hey, I want to interview you and your ride or die, it so happens that all of the interviews that I've pre-recorded so far have been done with best friends. And these are best friends who also have in common that they are geographically isolated. I didn't know that was going to happen when I first announced the season. I said, I'll interview mentors, mentees. I'll interview parents, or, parents of adult children with their adult child. I'll interview mentors, mentees, sisters, brothers, coworkers, people who fit that definition of being with your ride or die. It could even be your romantic partner or your spouse, right? This is the person who is always present for you and vice versa. And you refuse to not let them die to themselves, right? Because that's what it takes to grow, flourish, and prosper. Some of the old stuff has to fall away, right? And you offer to die to yourself on their behalf. So that is the central theme of season 5 of the Thriving Thoughts podcast. I'm super excited. We're going to have 16 interviews with duos. And again, I've already pre-recorded 5 of those. If you want in on that, it is not too late. All you need to do is message me. The links to do so are in the show notes. Message me. Let me know you want me to interview you, because listen, there's a lot of people out there who are hungry and hurting for relationships. And sometimes they're choosing and settling for relationships that don't fit that definition that we just described, that ride or die, that dying to self and requiring the other person to die to self, right? We love each other where we are, but we refuse to let each other stay there. And that's an equal investment. And so many people I know struggle with that. I've talked to many of you, and you feel alone. You feel like those types of relationships are impossible. This season, you're going to learn that not only is it not possible, not only is it not impossible, it is possible. And the people that I'm interviewing, these friends, the wisdom and insights that they're going to share with you are going to give you kind of a compass to be able to identify where those ride or die relationship opportunities are for you. So you're going to have 16 of those episodes. And then you're also going to have 16, because we do 2 episodes a week. So you're also going to have 16 single monologue episodes with me. And I'm going to be sharing with you some insights that I have gained, some ways that I have learned to thrive, grow, flourish, and prosper through my ride or die friendships. That's right. And there are a number of friendships I'm going to reference. I don't know. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to announce names or whatever, but my friends who will hear me talking about them will know exactly who they are. And I'm going to share how I have learned to thrive in a relationship, even in friendships that seemed to be kind of disconnected or disengaged or even disenfranchised at times, and how I learned through the desire to love and be loved in those friendships. I learned how to overcome confrontation and challenge and things like that. That's possible. The other thing I'm going to teach you is some things that I've learned about relationships, some truths. You are going to want to stay tuned for that, because there's a lot of myths about friendship, and I'm going to bust a lot of those myths. I don't know if there will be 16 myths, but I've got quite a number that I'm going to bust for you. So that will start next Friday. The first interview of season 5, Thriving with Your Ride or Die, is going to air this coming Tuesday. That is the 6th of July. So you are going to want to tune in to that, and stay tuned for who it is. I'll make an announcement on social media, on my Dr. Sherri page on Facebook, and my Dr. Sherri Speaks story on Instagram. I'll make that announcement on Monday the 5th. So if I've interviewed you so far, it may just be you. So stay tuned for that. I can't wait to have you guys be a part of that. Listen, I want you to write down some of these questions. And these are questions because I want this season to be a life-altering, a life-improving, a life-thriving experience for you. I want you to be an active part of it. You don't have to be interviewed on the show. You don't have to talk directly with me to be an active recipient of the fruits of this season. I'm going to ask you some questions right now that I want you to be thinking about. One of those is, first, before you do that, I want you to write down a list of all of the people in your life, your friends in your life, the people that you call friends. Even if you're not sure if they really are a friend, I want you to write down the people that you call friend. Now I want you to answer these questions about them. The first, how does this person challenge me? And remember, this can be about your significant other too. So we're going to go somewhere with these questions, but this is what I want you to explore. How does this person challenge me? How do they confront me when I need to be confronted? Right? Because that's part of a healthy ride or die relationship. How do they hold me accountable? So if I've said I'm going to do something and I wanted to commit to something, how do they make sure I follow through with what I say I'm going to commit to? Because that's part of it, accountability, right? So challenge, confrontation, accountability. And how do they facilitate my growth? How does that person facilitate your growth? And I want you to think about growth in a number of different facets of your life. That could be your professional or your intellectual life, right? Like if you love to be stimulated intellectually, how does that person, one, do they know that about you? And two, how do they facilitate that growth? How about emotional growth? You know, so many times, a lot of us, we're too busy commiserating with our friends instead of requiring them to get out of their own way with that emotional baggage that's not doing them any good, right? So let's not stay comfortable there. How do these people push us to grow emotionally, to use our emotions as information and not fact? How do they facilitate our growth in our roles in our life as a mother, as a wife, a girlfriend, a daughter, a friend, a mentor, a teacher, a worker, a speaker, a coach, a writer, whatever it is. How does this person facilitate my growth in that area? How do they keep pushing me to be better and never settle for the status quo? That is a ride or die friend. Your friend may also encourage you to grow spiritually. So think about this. If faith is an important part of your life, how do the people in your life facilitate your spiritual growth? Or do they? Or do they facilitate spiritual stagnation or even a retreat from your core faith beliefs? Those are questions that I want you to answer. Also, social growth. We have opportunities to grow socially in relationship. And that means like holding boundaries. That's a big buzz topic, right? In relationships, keeping boundaries. How do the people in our lives, one, do they know the things that we need in those areas? And financial growth too, right? Financial, emotional, intellectual, spiritual, physical, professional, whatever it is, whatever area of your life is important to you. One, does your ride or die? Do they know that that's important to you? And two, how do they facilitate your growth in that area? Those are the questions that I want you to start thinking about before you listen to Tuesday's episode. As we close out today, I want to read to you lyrics from a song that, whether you like the group or not, I love the lyrics to this song. So I will give full credit. The group is Imagine Dragons, and the song is called Follow You. And I just want to read you a few lines from the chorus. It says, I will follow you way down, wherever you may go. I'll follow you down to your deepest low. I'll always be around wherever life takes you. You know I'll follow you. And I thought, that was such a beautiful depiction to me of what a ride or die is, that they're going to follow you. But let me take this one step further. In the bridge of that song, it says this: I wish that I could fix it. I could fix it for you, but instead I'll be right here coming through. So what's beautiful about that to me is that there's a recognition, a healthy recognition, that we are going to go through some things, and we are not rescuers. That is not a healthy ride or die relationship. We cannot be rescuers, but we can come through. We can be there. We can follow one another down to the deepest low and never, ever leave our ride or die's side. Friends, that's the theme of this season. Listen, there are still 10 available interview spots for you and your bestie. Do you have some wisdom to share with the listeners and viewers for season 5 of the Thriving Thoughts podcast? All you got to do is reach out. I'd love to chat with you about the opportunity to interview you and share your wisdom that can help women around the world. Yes, y'all. This podcast is 6 continents wide that can help women around the world learn to thrive. Another way to thrive, you guys, in addition to listening to this podcast, is to join my Thriving Thoughts texting community, where you can communicate with me directly via text message. No pressure, but direct access to me. And I offer you encouragement through text messages and picture quotes and even challenges. All you need to do to learn more is text the word thrive to 540-369-2139. Friends, I'll see you right here on Tuesday for my first ride or die interview. Until then, remember to speak truth over the lies, and you will thrive in any and every circumstance.